There are moments in life when we feel the desperate need to explain ourselves, to prove our worth through loud words and endless arguments. We live in a world that fears silence, mistaking it for weakness or ignorance. But have you ever noticed that the most powerful people in a room are often the quietest? This story is not just about keeping your mouth shut. It is about opening your mind. It will show you why true healing begins when you move on. In a modern city that never sleeps, there lived a young, talented architect named Elias. Elias was a man sculpted by ambition, sharp-suited and sharper-tongued. He was undeniably talented, but he carried a heavy flaw. He believed that to be seen, one had to be loud. In boardroom meetings, his voice was a weapon. He didn't listen to understand. He listened only to reply. He filled every quiet space with his own opinions, unaware that his own noise was building a wall between him and true greatness. For a while, the strategy worked. His constant talking created an illusion of competence. When he was promoted to lead a prestigious project, his pride reached the stratosphere. He began to believe that leaders weren't people who listened, but people who spoke until everyone else stopped. He was standing at the edge of a cliff, convinced he was flying simply because he hadn't hit the ground yet. The fall happened on a Tuesday. During a crucial meeting with global investors, Elias let his tongue run faster than his judgment. He revealed a sensitive, confidential detail just to win an argument. The room went deathly cold. The lead investor slowly closed his folder. You just compromised a multi-million-dollar agreement to win an argument, Elias. Within an hour, his career was in pieces. The weeks that followed were a blur of bitter silence. Elias spent his days in a dimly lit apartment, replaying the meeting in his head. In his mind, he was the victim. He reached out to old contacts, trying to talk his way back into success, but the doors remained shut. He was holding on to a burning coal, hoping it would turn back into a diamond if he just argued with the fire long enough. Broken and exhausted, Elias found himself in a quiet park. There, he met Mr. Sterling, a legendary architect who lived in absolute stillness. Elias poured out his heart for 20 minutes. Mr. Sterling remained silent for a long time. Finally, the old man spoke. Elias, a vessel that is always overflowing cannot catch the rain. Your words are like bricks. You've been using them to build walls, thinking they were bridges. The days that followed were the quietest Elias had ever known. He took a humble position at a small firm. Here, he wasn't the lead. He was a listener. The transition was excruciating, but every time a boastful comment rose in his throat, he forced himself to swallow it. He started to see things he never saw before. Humility began to replace his ego. He was learning that transformation doesn't happen with a shout. It begins with the quiet growth of a seed. A year later, a new crisis struck. Elias's small firm was called in to help. Arguments flared around the table, but Elias sat in perfect stillness. When the room finally fell silent, all eyes turned to him. Elias spoke for less than 3 minutes. His voice was quiet, but it carried immense weight. He presented a solution that synthesized everyone's concerns. The room was silent again, but this time it was the silence of profound respect. The story of Elias is the story of many of us. We live in a world addicted to noise, forgetting that the deepest waters flow in silence. Let these lessons sink into your heart. 1. Silence is a shield. 2. Listening is learning. 3. Your voice is a tool, not a weapon. 4. Ego needs noise, Wisdom needs stillness. 5. Preparation happens in the dark. And 6. A moment of silence before you speak can save you years of regret. True strength doesn't bark, it breathes. True wisdom doesn't scream, it shines. If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts below.